That irritates the hell out of me. Just tell me the truth. Like, just be like, hey, you know what? I'm busy. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. Can I call you in the morning or can I text you? Sure. Let's just be real. When we're done with the day, we have time. You can text. It's 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. I don't care. Text me. Let me know. Talk to me. I just feel like no one's on point with shit. I feel like I'm so on point with everything I do, Christian. It's hard for me to find someone that, and they say they're just like me, like, oh yeah, we're the same. We ain't the same, man. How you guys doing? I'm Bronson Vaquera.
And I'm Christian White.
Welcome to Bronson Christian Talk. So how you been, man? How's everything been going for you? I know we see each other probably like once a week, but we talk like every day.
Yeah.
So how's everything been going on your end?
I definitely am. I know you kind of mentioned it yesterday. I am kind of being a hypocrite as it relates to the
Right.
balance, the stuff that I had espoused on a while back. Definitely not balance in the sense of, like taking a lot of breaks and stuff.
Right.
And very, very focused, which, I mean, for me, and I'm sure others can relate, it gets kind of challenging when I'm basically, whatever the term is, throttling back and forth between, it's like you're trying to find that sweet spot between
medium.
Yeah, between like going balls out as hard as you can on what you're doing, but at the same time, when you start to experience symptoms, whatever that may be, like headache for some people, back pain, whatever it is, then it's learning like, okay, kind of let off the gas a little bit. And so that's what I'm having to learn, kind of come to terms with.
And you feel like how has the transitioning been? Like why are you even doing it, in the sense of like what triggered that to be like, man, you just were all of a sudden like aware of it, or someone brought it up to you? Or
well, I mean, you had mentioned it, and for a time I was talking about I was talking a lot about, hey, taking the breaks, doing this, and I do little walks here and there.
Right.
I do that, and I work out just about every day. But I know exactly where I want to be and what I want to do, and I know it's just a matter of me. I just have to do the work. I've got to do what I need to do if I want to get to the destination. And I get very obsessed with things like people give me shit. I zone everything out. Kind of. It's very obsessive.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that to a certain extent, because I mentioned to him like, loosen up. I feel like he's always so wounded up and so like hard with like, I got to do this, boom, boom, boom. Where his biggest thing was he doesn't want to live to work, right? We've talked about that. You need some time with family, friends, and your own self-enjoyment. But then that's why he said, he's contradicting himself, because now he's, because we don't believe that you have to work, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. But then he started doing it, so he was kind of contradicting what he was saying. But it happened, like you said, he has that personality when he wants to get work done. He's really, focused on something, which isn't a bad thing. You just got to find the happy medium to things. And that, same thing in a relationship. You got to find the happy medium. There's a give and take in relationships, right? Because that's kind of like the topic we're going to be discussing today. Is like, relationships, certain things with relationships and trust, and, a lot of things with relationships. So, to kind of piggyback off that, when it comes to the relationship part, because man, just so much has been happening. That's why I want to talk, kind of on this. And we always have people that I have people that hit me up and want us to discuss stuff like this, because it's so relatable. We all go through stuff, in our own personal lives, and challenges and trials and tribulations with the opposite sex or same sex, whatever your forte is. And I feel like there has to be it's balance in anything. You're eating, work, family, relationships. You have to have a balance. You can't have too much of something, too less of something. There has to be a happy medium. You drink too much water, too much is not a good thing. Too much of anything is not good. So with Christian, like being obsessed about his work, I mean, you can start almost being like a loner, to where like no one's going to end up hitting you up because you're always telling people no. And then, no, you're not going to you're going to miss out on a lot of stuff. That doesn't mean you have to be going out every day and respond to every single person and get drunk and and we've talked about this. I feel like Christian's a really good guy. So I feel like, when he's focused, but you don't want to become a hermit crab. There's a season and a time for it. You know what I mean? But, you got to loosen up, and then you'll feel good. Like, man, I'm glad I did that. Maybe not if you get drunk and then you're just like miss a day of work or two. You don't want to do that, because then I hate when that happens. Not a good thing to do. But topic, relationships. I'm gonna say one of my biggest pet peeves are, man. I have a really hard time when people like let me know they're interested in any type of capacity, but yet can't respond to a text message, but can look at my stories on Instagram. I don't understand that. Your phone is your phone. And when girls say they suck at texting, that's a lie. They are so smart. Women are super intelligent. You're on your phone 24/7. Everybody is. How can you say, oh, I just suck with my phone? No, you pick and choose who you want to talk to on what benefits you. Just saying what it is. I know some of you guys are like, oh, he's full of shit. And most of you are going to be like, okay, he has a point. Because I've dealt with it. Like, for instance, say someone likes me or interested in me. You know, like there has to be a happy medium to where there's a give and take. Like, I'm not going to be the one always having to text and call you. You know, the other person wants to feel wanted too. You know, they don't want to feel empty. They don't want to feel like I hate my biggest another pet peeve is like I hate to bother people. If I have to continuously hit someone up, I feel like I'm bothering them. I feel like, okay, this is kind of getting away from me now. Now I kind of feel like I'm doing everything. And it's not a good feeling. You feel like, you know, not to say I'm all lame, you feel unwanted, right? But people, they're saying women and guys do it too, will tell you a whole bunch of sweet nothings. You know, what I mean by that? That means like, you know, you tell someone, I'll use me example. I'll tell a girl she's really pretty. I'm interested in you. I'm like, you know, I think you're great. You know, you're refreshing. And then I say, I'll call you later. And then I don't. I'll still look at your stories. I'll still like stuff on Instagram, but I don't even get back to you like I said I was. That irritates the hell out of me. Just tell me the truth. Like, just be like, hey, you know what? I'm busy. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. Can I call you in the morning or can I text you? Sure. Let's just be real. When we're done with the day, we have time. You can text. It's 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. I don't care. Text me. Let me know. Talk to me. I just feel like no one's on point with shit. I feel like I'm so on point with everything I do, Christian. It's hard for me to find someone that, and they say they're just like me, like, oh yeah, you know, we're the same. We ain't the same, man. You're not on my level. And it's very frustrating when people tell me that they're into me. I have people that tell me a lot that they're into me. And then I'm like, it's not panning out that way. That's not how it is. Like, it's always me doing everything. And then I feel stupid because I hate giving people attention. I don't want to say hate because hate's a strong word, but I really dislike putting a lot of time and energy into something that's nothing. You know what I mean? Where there's a give and take and nothing's just being given. It's been taken by, you know, I'm telling you everything I'm giving and you're just taking it. You're not letting me know. Like, I'm a dude, all right? I know there's this whole guys are smelly and guys are just tough and guys don't care and whatever. Like, I actually have feelings. I care. I'm in touch with my feelings. Like, you know, I'm a human being. You know what I mean? So respect me as such, you know? So like I said, there has to be a give and take. There's a happy medium. If you like someone and they like you, there should be a back and forth, not just one person does all. You know, it's very annoying.
Well, it's kind of Corey Wayne made the analogy for those who don't know who he is. He's a relationship coach and such. And when I was dating and such and all that, he was somebody that I would tune into quite a bit. And you know, one of the analogies that he made is it's like playing tennis. You know, you don't. You know, ideally, right? You hit the ball, the other person hits the ball back. It's a symbiotic, relationship. Yeah. The one thing you don't want, and it happens to people, right, is they hit the ball, the other person doesn't hit it back. So what do? They run to the other side of the court and they hit it back. And you know, as the saying goes, it takes two to tango.
Yeah. And so you're just doing everything. You're in the relationship or situationship by yourself, and it's gonna go nowhere really fast. You know what I mean? But that's such a pet peeve of mine. It's a simple like, I can't talk to you. Can I call you later? Just call me later. If you say call me at 7, I don't care if it's 7:15 or 7:20. At least call me back. It's stuff like that really means a lot to me because I feel like no one's sincere anymore. I feel like it's all talk. Like on Instagram, they only highlight what they want you to see. I was talking to one of my friends today about it on the phone. She says I only highlight what I want people to see, which we all do. The good times, right? You know, people put bad times like with death or something, but like 99% of the time, you want people to see the best of your shit. You know, so it's pretty frustrating, man. I just feel like people need to be more respectful of people's time and feelings, and I feel like a lot of people don't. A lot of people are selfish. or they just don't use their brain and think like, wow, I think in my mind, because I think a lot, like, I want to, like, I know that would hurt my feelings if I don't know how people can just leave people hanging. I don't do that. Even if it bothers them, I'll tell them no. You know, because that's just the right thing to do. Like, I mean, what's so hard about that? You know, you're on your phone all day. You look at your phone for everything. It's your laptop. You do everything on that. So I don't understand, you know, like why, and it's mainly girls. I'm just being honest, mainly girls, because I was telling my friend today on the phone, I was like, you guys have so much power. Like you can be a 400-pound woman. There's a niche for that. You know what I mean? You can be a 100-pound woman. There's a niche for that. Well, me and Christian, we're decent looking guys. We're, you know, pretty successful in our own rights. And, you know, I feel like I'm a good dad, and, you know, we have nice homes, and fuck, like girls that are like 400 pounds will make more money than us, get more attention. And it's just like, wow, how is this happening? You know, it's like we have to do so much more work. Again, I'm not gonna say my friend's name because she'd get mad if I told her name, but that's what we're talking about too. How, like, you know, guys are the protectors. Guys have to do all the dirty work. You know, we always have to be on point. They're like, I saw this thing where dads are the ones that do all this stuff, looks out for the family, has to be the protector, has to be the provider, and only gets like that, you know, Christmas card with thanks dad and a tie. And everybody else gets all the presents, moms and the kids. We're always left in the dark. So we are actually really strong, and we have to be strong. That's why when girls are like, oh, you have to be tough. Yeah, well, if I wasn't tough, then I'd be a beta dude and you'd complain about that. So yeah, I am tough mentally and physically. I can't just be tough physically. You know what I mean? So and then women are more, you know, that's why the men are more usually the disciplinary, and then women are the ones that are the nurturers, the ones that care, and the ones that be holding the sons and daughters. Like I'm both. I'm mom and dad. I do both. You know, but I'm pretty strict. But yeah, so it's just kind of crazy. Like, you know, I actually had a great talk with her about everything. I'm not going to disclose too much because she'll kill me. But I think that, like I said, it comes down to there's a give and take, and there is roles. I know maybe some of you don't want to hear that, but there is roles when it comes to a man and a woman, in my opinion. I do believe in God. I am Christian. I'm not no Bible thumper or anything, but I believe the man should provide, and the woman, she doesn't have to stay at home. But it'd be, especially if you guys know how much daycare is, or if you know how much stuff is out there, like to pay other people to watch your kids, it's better to have your girlfriend or obviously your wife to watch the kids and grow with the kids. Now, I wouldn't mind my girl having like a degree or have a job if she wants, you know, whatever. But there is roles. You know, I do believe, like, whenever I get a girlfriend, she don't have to pay for rent. That's a man's job. That's what I feel. But there's a give and take. She wants to pay for something to grow. She's cool. Go ahead. You know, I mean, we'll take your car today. Use your gas. Like, you know, stuff like that. You know, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, to preface, and I feel like that's my word, like I always like to use. Hey, people can do whatever they want in their life. Right. I will say though that you know, you are spot on. Of course, you're talking about yin and yang,
right?
And the balance and the masculine and the feminine. Mm-hmm. David Deda's book, The Way of the Superior Man, is something I read probably about 6 years ago. Talks about the importance of, you know, polarity, like in a relationship and stuff, right? The man, in a traditional sense, he's in his masculine. The woman, in the traditional sense, she's in her feminine. And how those polarities, just like a battery, right? You get your plus, your minus, you know, the opposites. Right. How that together creates a great unified relationship. So when you have one sex trying to do the other thing and the other trying to do the other thing, gets things out of whack. And I think it's really challenging for people to be able to pivot between, like you know, obviously I'm a man, I'm not a woman, but I'm not going to speak for a woman, but what
I could have capitalized on that so good, but I'm gonna leave it alone. But
thank you for letting me finish. This guy. I imagine it's challenging in today's society where for a lot of women, they want them to be kind of a boss babe. They want them to be aggressive, whether it's like they're an attorney or they're this or that. And then I think the challenge for them is then transitioning to a feminine, quote unquote, beauty with their man. And, you know, today in society, historically, you know, I'm a history guy. men are in the masculine role. The burden is on them to provide,
Right.
to provide security, but that. But today, unfortunately, our culture, because we've had it so good,
Right.
we haven't had a major upset. And I don't include, and 9/11 was obviously horrible. I don't include that. I don't include the great financial crisis that occurred in '08. I'm talking major crisis like a global war.
Right.
Vietnam, yeah, you could say, but something that really thrust society into a black hole, if you will. We haven't really had that. So because of that, because things are so good by and large, even if you're of lower social strata out there or what have you, in terms of economic, it's still better than most of the planet and most of human history, access to resources and stuff. So what I'm getting at is we have it good that I think men as a whole in society have become weaker, more passive, more that, and it's a balance.
Right. I feel like, man, yeah, I hope it changes. It's hard to see it changing. I feel like, yeah, I mean, guys are wearing skirts now. So, and they're straight. There's just like this weird thing going on. And hey, to each their own. I don't care what you do. You can put a bag over your head, whatever you want. But at the end of the day, a real man in my eyes works hard, provides for his family. If he doesn't have family, he provides for himself, obviously. He just, puts all the time and effort into him mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. He takes care of himself. I've said this so many different times. You're no good to anybody else. If you're no good to yourself, make sure you're good. Make sure you have your stuff together. And then if another woman comes into your life, I mean, obviously you gotta meet in the middle. She has to pull her weight. She can't just come and like, oh, I'm just gonna just live off you. I mean, if you want that, I mean, to each their own, but like I want someone, to bring something to the table. We've talked about this. I personally don't need them making a buttload of money. If they make great money, great. I'm not trying to look for a bum, obviously, but I'm pretty sure I'll find a girl who has a good job and, she has a kid, be a great mom, be understanding. They have to love the Lord, in my opinion. Like, you don't have to be going to church every day, but, just believe in God and, stuff like that. And, because you want your relationship to be evenly yoked. Right? You don't want, because if it's not evenly yoked, it's going to be it's not going to work, So that's why I'm huge on like, there's a give and take. That's why I go back to like, if in the beginning, people are like, hey, do you go on dates? I'm like, I can't even freaking pass the conversation on the phone for 30 minutes and be able to have them call me back. I can't even get that far. You know what I mean? It's been really tough. So, but to your point, men have definitely got more soft. Women have definitely got more tough. And then there was at that point where, I need a man to be in touch with his feminine side. I think this generation took that literal. Like now, okay, let me get my handbag and my clutch and let me put my heels on. We're not talking about that. We need to like be in touch with your feelings, meaning don't be so ice, be very hardened. Like I had no emotions. I didn't, that was one of the biggest things that I was told, years ago that, I didn't seem like I cared. You know what I mean? And so over years, because I'm especially being a single dad, got me in touch with the more like sensitive side because my sons didn't have their mom around because, she's out of town. And so who's going to be there to comfort them or lay next to them or tell them, whatever, I tell them I love them all day, every day. That's not part of it. That's an automatic. But like you have to be more sensitive and cognitive of that. And I start catching myself. I'm like, damn, I need to start being more chill. Like, like woman-like in a sense of like more nurturing. And so over the years, I felt like I've definitely gotten better with that. So I think to your point, yes, in society, it's gotten more soft. And I still believe in the old school thing. Man takes care of a woman. So that's what a man does, man. Like it's going to be hard. It's supposed to be hard. And that's what we're built for. We're supposed to be built. We're the leader. We lead the family. And like even in old times, like you're the one who picks up the stuff. Take your family to X, Y, and Z place because we're going to settle here. I'm going to make the decision and I'll protect you and we'll provide. Take care of the kids because that's what's going to help raise the farms. That's what's going to help get all the animals together. That's what's going to help, eventually, grow our seed, right? So at the end of the day, I'm not really well diverse in history like Christian, so I can't really bring too much up, but that's just kind of common sense, right? There's roles to things. To run a business, you have to have a role. You can't just say, whatever, do whatever. No, like you have to have a role and a position to have it function, right? There's moving parts to a business, many moving parts, depending on what business you're in. So not to go too off topic, but yeah, at the end of the day, there's a give and take. And, those were my biggest pet, definitely a couple of my pet peeves is, not getting back to me. I don't need to get back to me in like 20 minutes. At least get back to me sometime in that day, because I know, what do you do when you're done talking to someone? You go do stuff, whatever. You get back on your phone. That's when you can go back and say, hey, sorry, I was at lunch with a business partner, or, I've been in a meeting for a couple hours. How's the day going, babe? That simple. You know what I mean? But I just feel like people can't do that now. I feel like girls, especially women, they feel like they're like, he needs to chase me. He needs to do this. No, how about we have feelings too? How about you meet me in the middle? I like you, you like me. Let's meet in the middle, okay? You can't put it all on the guy. You want him to be feminine. You want him to be masculine. You want him to be all these different things. You want him to provide for you. You want him to do all these things. What are you bringing? What are you bringing? That's not ain't bringing much if you want him to be the man and the woman. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. That's which one of your pet peeves with stuff like that? When it comes in like,
where do I begin? No.
Right?
Well, let me comment on this. I think I just looked it up today. 46% of U.S. adults are single, and
right.
it's really interesting. There's so many rabbit holes you could go down. This current dating world that we're in is a recent phenomenon. This is not the norm. This all stems from the 1960s. A lot of the stuff that occurred, the sexual revolution, the disruption in society, socially, so on and so forth. You really had obviously more of a nuclear or together family prior to that,
Right.
And so it's changed a lot. Social media, the dating apps.
Early 2000s.
Women are actually doing better than men in a lot of respects, especially younger men. Younger men are failing to launch. This is some of the studies that I've seen. Women are at higher rates of getting a college degree. You look at even today, for example, a young man is more likely to be at home with his family later into years. He may not have a career or job that's certainly stable enough. He is most likely single. This is for a lot of men out there, and I think for a lot of women, again, can't speak for them, but just from my observations, from what I'm gathering, is because they are young, beautiful, fill in the blank, they're able to find a provider immediately right away. Whereas you juxtapose the two, right? An 18-year-old, let's say 20-year-old man, 20-year-old woman. 20-year-old woman can find somebody who can then provide for her, do this, that, and the other. The 20-year-old man, he has yet to start to be a man of value to society, to start to bring in an income, and that takes time.
Right.
And so, it's kind of reversed a little bit. If it's funny how it is, and
100%.
some of the stuff is not the most politically correct, and I feel like there's some, I feel like we're more or less vocalizing ourselves, but even inside, I'm holding back on some things on the podcast because there's certain truths that you just can't say that they're truths. People know it, but they're unspoken.
Right down.
But you get where I mean. There's certain things, and it's like
you got to be careful. But one thing I'm definitely glad he brought up is, man, just say 21 and 21, right? 21-year-old man, young man, 21-year-old woman. Who's going to be more successful nowadays? Quickly, definitely the woman, and I'll tell you why. It's going to be somewhat sexual, but I'm just being honest. You can be, if you're a pretty young woman with, nice boobs, nice, got beautiful lips, beautiful eyes, like you're really put together, dude, you're going to land any job pretty much you want. Because usually it seems like nowadays women are on top, in the management positions, but men are men. They see a beautiful woman. All right. She has any type of common sense, you're hired. Like
that's a litmus test.
Like you're hired. I want to look at boobs. Like I'm just being real. That's how guys are, in automotive worlds or whatever, especially in automotive world, like in any world, like secretaries, I'm just saying, the higher ups, the higher you go in companies, multi-million or billion-dollar companies, you're not gonna see all these busted women. You'll see some pretty women because they're gonna get hired to do the job. And if they have any inclination how to do shit, or they've gotten college degrees, that's just gonna be a plus. Well, see, well, she has her stuff together. And really, they're like talking like, oh, she has big old boobies. It was higher. You know, I've been around it. I've been around enough women to know their bodies will help them get where they need to get. My body won't help me to get places where they can go. You know what I mean? Like, you can just be a pretty woman and meet a guy who's in his 30s, 40s, or 50s, and you're set for life. Women, you know this. I'm not talking out of my butt. You know this. You guys can literally do it. You can look like, I don't know, man. You can just look like
the crep keeper,
dude,
or
you
Quasimodo.
can literally look like crap with titties. Like, at the end of the day, there's a niche for that.
This is your new word, niche.
He uses niche, and I like the word niche. So there's a niche for those type of women, man. And dudes are gonna pay it. They'll pay it. They'll pay it. What am I gonna do? I'm not like this. You know, I mean, I feel like I'm a good catch, and I feel like Christian is this, but there's nothing that I can do better and be more successful quickly than a 21-year-old who's absolutely beautiful. Unless I found like a 60-year-old lady who wants like a sugar baby or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like women definitely have it easier in that aspect for sure. Like, a guy who doesn't have any really like job experience, who's 21, or a woman who's beautiful and is 21, that they'll hire the chick in a heartbeat. They won't take that guy as serious because his worth isn't there yet. We age like fine wine. You've heard it in multiple places. When you're in your 30s as a woman in society, this is not me saying it, because there's a lot of women who are in their 40s that are beautiful, but your value goes down. My value goes. I'm 36, so I'll be 37 in a few weeks, and my value's going up. I don't know about you, but my value's going up. So his value's going up. If you're a guy, congratulations, your values are going up. If you're a woman, you better hurry up, figure it out. Get a guy like me or Christian, save you. No, I'm just kidding. Joking aside, though, but that's true. Like, with women, the younger you are, like meaning in your 20s as a woman, your value is immense. But once you get in your 30s, it is kind of true. Like, she's 35. Why doesn't she have a dude? What's wrong? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's wrong? What? Like, why? If you're that pretty and that successful, why don't you have someone? But then they can say that about me, but it's not really valued in that type of way as a woman doesn't, because a woman can get any dude she wants. Like I said, I'm repeating myself, but it's so true. I've been around so many women. They can get any dude they want. Any woman can get any dude they want. I've seen more, and I said this in the last podcast, I've had a few women that show me their DMs. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't even open it. I'm like, even if 95% of them are ugly dudes, but 5% are decent looking, you know how much that would make my head blow up? And I got a big ass head. Like, I'd be like, I just had a girl the other day tell me, like, you're very attractive. Like, you can do the OnlyFans and blah, blah, blah. And this is someone I'm not fond of anymore. But they told me that, and it's kind of a long story. I'm not getting into it. And I'm just like, yeah. But then if I'm, let's just say I'm good in bed, I'm a good dad. This is what this person told me. I'm a hard worker. I have a nice house. I come from a great family. Then what's the problem? What am I? Just, I'm just going through stuff. Now they're dating someone. So it's like, it's just kind of weird that, because like this, they always do this. They put the hand on the chest just to take the temperature, make sure you're there. Because if it's not working out with the dude over there, okay, I got him again now. What's up? All they need to say, hey, baby, what are you doing? Or I miss you. Blah, blah, blah. Dude gets hard. Boom. I like her now. She likes me. Because a lot of you dudes are super beta and like you're going to fall for it. I won't. Have I before in the past because I maybe really like someone? Yeah. I didn't know the game, right? But it's like, I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? And it's like, but a lot of people do that in society. We've talked about it in the podcast before, and I'm not going to go over it too much again. But there's that unspoken rule, blah, 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 blah. But I feel like beautiful women really take it to a whole nother level. And all of them had told me the exact same thing. All of them. I don't even pay attention to them. I don't pay no mind to that. Man, shut up. Like, you so full of crap. Like, you do. You pick and choose what you want because you're a beautiful woman and you can do so. Now, there's beautiful women that are amazing. It's not all women, you know what I mean? But there's at least a lot of the ones that I've encountered. You know what I mean? They're full of shit. The ones I've encountered, a lot of them, unfortunately. And so it has jaded me a little bit, you know. But at the same time, I don't blame them. I'm blaming myself for that's kind of what I've been picking, I guess, right? And but to circle back is like girls do have a better position for than guys do in the beginning for sure. But unfortunately, in time, if the women doesn't hurry up and make a decision and they get in their 30s and especially their 40s, it gets super tough to find someone that will want to be with you long term. You know what I mean? It's I even question it. I'm like, man, she's in her 30s and 40s. Like, what's wrong with her? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, what is she not doing? Or, I have this, and I know I'm kind of going on a tangent, but real quick, I feel like the only women who are attracted to me are women who are married, who are not doing good in their relationship, who are not doing good in their marriage, or they just recently broke up with the dude or their husband, divorced. I can never find someone who's been single for years or like a year or two or 6 months who's younger, beautiful, and willing to, hey, I would love to get to know you. Like, let's go have coffee and let's go talk and, let's go hang out, go out of town or whatever. I can't seem to catch that, bro. I don't know why that's circling me. That bunch of type of women, like, that pocket of women. It's very frustrating. I've had a talk with Christian about it because I'm really confused. Like, I don't want those things around me. You know what I mean? They're nice people, but like, don't think it would work between you and I if that's what you're doing to those people. You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. So, yeah, that's my tangent for the moment. I'll have one in a little bit.
Well, you brought up so many points.
Y'all pick one.
Gosh, well, one of the ones that came to mind, and I'm not the one who came up with this, but the saying is something to the effect of, a man must create his value, a woman must preserve her value.
100%.
And I thought that was a really interesting saying. Again, I can't remember the source where I heard it from, but
Google.
It was interesting. I mean, yeah, hearing that, just the dynamics. Well, and then another person who's well known made the comparison of, you go back to 1950 and you take a 20-year-old man and a 20-year-old woman, okay, and obviously there was no social media. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have this, that, and the other. The woman would only be exposed to men in her physical proximity, by and large. And so there's naturally a smaller pool of people. That same age, that same woman, 50, 60 years later, in today's time, she has a immense pool of men at her disposal. Social media, fill in the blank. There are so many people, and people willing to then fly them out, to wine and dine them, to take care of them. And so the 20-year-old man
can't do that.
He does not possess, at least in most cases, he does not possess the first of all, the
financial.
I was going to say, yeah, certainly the financial, but also the wherewithal and stuff, because his value, right, is derived later on in life just through experiences, getting nicks, cuts, bruises, scars.
Takes time.
Yeah. Well, like I think Roosevelt said, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor.
Right. Christian and his sayings. He loves Google.
And ChatGPT.
For real. But yeah, no, like it's so true, dude. Like, it's tough. It's tough out there, but there's a lot of great people. I know I'm kind of been getting on certain things, but there's amazing people. And then people come to me for advice too. And like, hey, this is what I'm going through. Or, hey, this is what's happening. And I'm going through my own stuff. I'm no expert. I feel like I'm an expert in, unfortunately, going through a lot of the dumb crap. But then that's how you learn, right? And that's how you know what you want, what, dispose of what you don't need and take what you need. And I just feel like, I don't know what's going to take for things to turn, to kind of like, I don't even think we'll ever see the family at a table again. And that's not me trying to be negative, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon.
The only time I see that, well, I look at society as kind of like a pendulum. Just like people, it sounds cliche, but people are always bringing up Rome in certain eras where there's a decline in society and such. I think it's kind of like a pendulum. I don't know if this is going to be in our lifetime or what have you, but right now things are kind of loose. Things are kind of a little decadent. You look at, you go on like a TikTok or you go on social media. I mean, it's very sexualized and violence and all that. And people, you look at how the average person looked in 1950.
Right.
I'm using 1950s just as a reference, or 1940s or whatever. People are dressed up, looking sharp. Not that people were perfect back then. There were certainly flaws in that era and stuff, but I suspect it'll have to be something that really shakes people to their core, like a reset, like whether it's a financial reset or it's a global war, where people then go back to religion and they go back to more conservatism. We live in a very consumption society. People want to flaunt their wealth. They want to showcase this and that. And for our grandparents' generation who got to experience the 1930s, a major global depression, then followed by a war that cost about 70 million lives. Right. That really shapes your psyche. And people stick together. People stayed at a job for 30, 40 years.
Right. It's like people change jobs like they're changing underwear.
It's like relationships.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about last time is like people are just switching out. Like, like the girl that I had an attraction to, right? That, told me all these great things about me, right? But just doing other things. It's like I kind of lost my train of thought with the point I was going to make. I'll have to circle back to that. But at the end of the day, man, it's, like you said, there's going to have to be something big that transforms that to where people start coming together now. And, it starts at home. Like, no joke. I feel like that's what creates a good man and a great woman, especially seeing how your parents are. Like, I had great parents. They're good to each other, and, we have our own mind. I did a lot of things I shouldn't have done. But I always was able to come back to that value that was imprinted in me, right? Like, I never strayed too far away. I always came back like a boomerang. Like, I drifted off, did things I shouldn't have done, and I came back. I knew my core values were strong with the type of family I had, and that's why I'm so great with my sons, and I falter. I'm not perfect, clearly, but I have an amazing life, and I'm blessed to have a family that my dad worked hard for me to get to this point, right? It helped shape me. But my point of saying that is because people's values are kind of crazy now, and it's okay to have your own views and your own wants and needs, but it's like, man, some people are just fucked up. Like, I feel like a lot of people are in the way they view things now. It's like, I feel like I'm almost not the normal person now. I feel like I'm the oddball out for trying to be what I think in my mind is normal in a relationship. A lot of people are cool with having multiple partners, like, and open marriages or open relationships, and I don't know how people do that. Look, let me just tell you this: if you have an open relationship, that other person doesn't love you, and I know people are gonna be like, "You don't know me. I do love them. Like, you're not me. I'm not you." But common sense is common sense. How do you love someone while someone else is fucking them and you're fucking another person? I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on YouTube, but you know what I mean. So, like, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, how do you love someone? You can care about them, have love for them, but long term, that's not going to be great. It's not going to work out. If it does, it's because you went to go get counseling or something. Because then jealousy sits in. It has to at some point, and maybe some people it works for them. Maybe you're both so twisted it works. I don't know, but from what I do know, off of common sense, a man and a woman get married, have kids, and have a happy family. Like, that's what I want. Maybe it might be boring to some people, but that's what I would enjoy. I love to, to have my sons and someone I love, and we're at a table eating. Hey, how's your day, son? I do that with my kids though. They eat we all eat at the same time. They eat on the counter, and I stand up because I don't want to sit down. But like and we talk, and so we actually do that. We all do it at the same time. Now, are they on their phones watching a movie or something? Yeah, but we're amongst that. We are talking with each other. We're engaging with each other. But I feel like it starts at home, and that's what create good people, and that can create good relationships later down the line. You know what I mean? How do you feel about that?
100%. It all boils down to programming.
Right.
It all goes down to programming, and those early formative years. And if you're sitting down at the dinner table, you're more likely to do that.
Right.
You know, like I'll share something totally off related with relationships, but you know, one thing I noticed about my dad is whenever I go to visit and we have guests over, we have company over, he always walks them out to their car and he waves them goodbye. He waits until literally they're gone, like he can't see them anymore. It's just a habit I've always observed, and I always thought like, you know, yeah, maybe walk them out to their car, but then
Why you staying there?
head back in. You know, but he will wait, and even when I go to visit, you know, he'll
What
wave
if you're
me
on your
up.
phone for a long time?
Yeah, well, I've encountered that. But what I'm
He's like, son, can you please go?
yeah, exactly. That's usually what I say. Yeah, I was like, I'm doing my music. Don't you
Yeah.
know?
Dude, that's so funny.
So you know, and to him, that was ingrained at a very early age.
It's like a respect thing.
He came from a very prim and proper family, and with very old school. I mean, my grandmother, I think, was hit with a buggy whip, kind of thing,
Damn.
when she was a little girl or whatever. I mean, like she came from a very prim and proper family, and so it's interesting to kind of see how that trickles on. And now me, when I have guests, now I kind of feel inclined to. So just like that with eating at the table and such, and now have done that in years with the family per se, unless it's a holiday.
Right.
But yeah, no, the programming spot on.
It starts at home, and that's what can create good people. That's what creates good relationships, and that's what can create good environment in society. That's why, you know, life can, and I know we're kind of going off topic of relationships a little bit, but it does kind of get involved in that, right? So like with my kids, I always tell them, sons, you're going to be the light in the dark. It starts at home in the sense of like, they're going to be the ones that are going to run the world, right? And transform the world. So if it starts at home and you create good morals and just a good mindset at home with your kids, girls or boys, like they're going to take that out into society and they're going to be a part of that. Now, do you want them to be a part of it with a bad attitude and, you know, you spoil the crap out of them so they think, oh, I need, I want. Like they need to earn it, right? And so it creates this whole mental thing. I even seen in basketball, a lot of the kids are mentally weak. You know what I mean? I'm blessed to have my son who is not mentally weak. That's one thing I'm so proud. I always tell him, I was like, son, you're so mentally strong. And I was like, you're such a better man than I'll ever be. I'm like, I'm beyond proud of him. Like, I'm like, whoever gets you, son, is gonna be one special woman. You're gonna be an amazing dad one day. He has like such a good heart. So like, you know, but that will create a good relationship for him. You know, when I had my ex-girlfriend, we never argued once in front of them. And we're always good. Like, it wasn't good after, but you always want to have a good look in front of your kids, right? And so that ties into relationships, you know. About 90% of the women I met have daddy issues. Whether they didn't have a dad, they yearn for the, you know, like they're looking for the dad they never had in every man. And that's what I've encountered with several women over my life. Like they're looking for what they like. I would tell you wouldn't know. Besides me, like they're like, I know what a man is. Like if a man hits you upside the head, you wouldn't even know. Like you don't know. Like you were never taught. You know what I mean? And like it wasn't around you. I know what a real woman is. It's my mom, hardworking woman who cares and stuff. I know what a real man is. My dad who provided. Like those are like a real woman, a real man. And you know, and then or unfortunately things happen when they're younger, right? And you know that can really mess things up for people later down the line, like a big incident that we don't want to talk about here that might have happened to her, that can shape the rest of her life. One thing can change everything. So it starts at home, and you know it's just hard to find a good companion. I don't need a date right now, but even to have a good friend that's a girl, and you can maybe grow into something. You know, I feel it's important to have like some type of relationship. I mean, obviously, we'll call it a friendship, right? But you really like them, and you can grow into something. That's why I'm not, you know, it's just hard to even, like I said, to hang out with the girl more than once. Like you hang out once, and like I don't like. I just have a bad. It's me. I have a bad. What's the word I'm looking for? Meeting women is just not my strong point. Meeting the right women has just been really hard for me the past few years, but. You know, I met some great people. It just obviously didn't pan out. Just our views and wants and needs are completely different, and they're maybe super promiscuous. And I was not. I was like, I already know how this is gonna be. So, but at the end of the day, to kind of wrap things up, you know, I feel like besides just starting at home, that can better the future for a relationship, for the kids, for society, and social media has taken everything over, right? That's gonna be around forever. That's it. That's what it's gonna be. It's not like things are gonna like reset anytime soon. I feel like I don't think anything's gonna reset anytime soon. But at the end of the day, if we can create good morals and good standards at home, it'll come out to your kids will go out to society, do that with the other kids, and when they become adults and create a good environment of a dating pool of people like that you'd want to be with in the long run. They have great core values and that you can grow with. Because man, I would love to. I know I'm kind of like venting, I guess, in a sense too right now. Like I would love to find someone that will just bring me peace of mind. That's my biggest thing right now. I don't look like Sully from Monsters Inc. or anything, but like be attractive, but like peace of mind. Stop bitching and complaining. Tell me everything I'm not, or like, why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? Or, you need to do, like, I don't want none of that. I just want peace of mind when I come home. Hey, babe, like I made dinner. Do you want to go see a movie? Yeah, I got you, babe. Let's go. I'll order the tickets right now. It was like something simple. I want what I feel is normality. I don't need all the bells and whistles, dude. I have my sons, I have a home, I have a car, I have businesses. I just need that person to pull their weight, believe in God, take care of themselves. And, it's that easy. Life's hard, but it's that easy. Like, I guess, in my mind, it's like, it shouldn't be that hard. Have a job, take care of yourself, and kind of go from there. It's just, that's what I yearn for, is any type of companionship would just be peace of mind. Being able to be a woman of your word, right? If you're going to do something, do it. Please don't tell me you're going to do something and then you don't. Why are you going to tell me you're going to do something you're not going to do and you just leave me in wonder? It bugs me, man. Like what do people fear? People fear the unknown, right? We don't know what to expect. Roll the dice. I said on the last podcast, relationships. So in a relationship, yeah, I have a fear of like, I don't want to say it's a fear, but like it somewhat is like, they're going to get back to me or not? Like I don't want to waste my freaking time. Why am I going to waste my time? My time is the most valuable thing in my life. I'm not promised tomorrow. What am I going to do? Just wait and wonder? Like, no, do your part. This is where we go circle back. Do your part. Let's meet in the middle. You can text me. You can call me. We'll go back and forth. That's how you grow. You don't just wait for the guy. I had a girl tell me, yeah, I'm old school. I'm going to wait for him to hit me up. I'm like, well, then you're going to be alone forever. You can't do that. So that's how I feel. I'm closing shop with that part. But one thing in closing.
Well, there's a million things that could be covered.
Right.
Time will tell how, I know this is kind of off topic a little bit, but how I'm really intrigued how AI is going to impact relationships, how it's going to impact things, especially once you.
To piggyback off that, man, I always was like, I wish I can build a bee. You can understand what the B would stand for. Where I want colored eyes. I want this lips. That's already there. They already have that stuff coming out. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what's going to happen, bro. Like, there's already virtual reality. So people already are in that world of gaming. It's like, everybody's going to just, that's the scary part. That's why it's not going to get better in that sense. It's going to be something over our face. And we're going to live in a world. Like, it's not reality. And it's freaking scary. That's how AI, in my opinion, that's how AI is going to take over. We're going to be in this world. So it's literally the Matrix, dude. We're going to lay down. We're not going to care how we look because we're going to get the best crap in the virtual reality. We're going to stick it through our head, like in the Matrix, and just get computered all up in there. It's like digital stuff. That's it. That's why if you read the Bible, the mark of the beast, people already have that where it's implemented in you and they can scan it and you can pay for stuff, right? It's called the mark of the beast. So it's already happening. It's kind of creepy, kind of scary, but yeah.
Yep. Well said.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, wishing you guys all the best. If you guys have questions, feel free to send them our way, and happy to address those as best we can. And if you have any videos that you've seen, you want us to provide our thoughts or reactions on those, please send those.
Definitely, we're gonna start doing that. We're gonna start doing reaction stuff. I mean, we're on the late train, but I think it'd be great, especially if we're talking about relationships or like even about God or whatever it is, business. Like, I think it's gonna be great that we do that. But if you guys have any topics, definitely let me know. I know if you guys hit us up and let us know, and then we kind of like cover it during the podcast, and I definitely enjoy that.
Now you're also eventually going to be doing coaching as it relates to this.
I mean, that's the plan. Unfortunately, I've been through a lot of bad things in my life, and I feel like I know what not to do now in life to give my perspective. Like, hey, this is what I've done. Now this is what should be done to save some of you guys that are a lot younger than me, and to avoid that. You don't have to touch the fire to know that it's hot. Maybe because you already know it's hot, and maybe that no part is from coming from the information I know that I've gathered over time in my experience that can help with you.
So how can people best get in touch with you?
Well, my Instagram, honestly, I don't even know my handle. I think it's Blessed Life 05. Definitely hit me up through there.
That was when you were born, right?
Absolutely. I'm only, how old am I? 19? Yeah. No, yeah. So it's Blessed Life 05. You can email me at BLUNDI at 198 at Gmail. I ain't gonna give out my number. Unless you go to Vantage Point. If you need some landscaping done, let us know. And then you can hit me up and I can talk about and give you help with stuff and help do your property, do your landscaping, whatever you need, or if you have a commercial business, we can help do that. But you can reach out to me in that way. But yeah, in closing, I appreciate it, you guys. If there's anybody, like I said, want to hit us up, react to any videos or anything in that nature, have a topic that we can discuss. It's been like in this relationship realm. I feel like because I always have people hit me up about it. And so, I like to cover it. But if there's anything you guys want us to cover specifically, it can be about, he's really knowledgeable about history, real estate, a lot of military stuff. I mean, anything you guys want. But I feel like this is the realm we've been in for a while. So definitely let us know.
Take care, guys. All the best to you.